Well, hello, young artists. This is lesson number 6, and today we're going to make a pumpkin. We're doing a total of 32 lessons, so we still have 26 more after today. That's a lot of lessons. That's so great. I just love doing this with you. Well, today we're going to draw a pumpkin. Now, I know many of you celebrate Halloween, and some of you do not celebrate Halloween, so don't be afraid of this. If you celebrate Halloween, we'll draw a Halloween pumpkin. But if you don't celebrate Halloween, we're going to draw a pumpkin patch, which is really, really fun. And that way you're going to learn how to draw a pumpkin that doesn't look flat, but it looks real. Okay, you're going to need 4 sheets of paper today. So get 4 sheets ready, have your pencil and your eraser ready, and we're going to do our exercise of letting our hand glide over the paper first. It's really important. And remember, the outside of the palm of your hand is what glides. This is where you connect to the paper. Not this. This, the side of your palm of your hand. Put your pencil point down. Let's close our eyes and just gently start moving across the paper. Let your hand swirl, but slowly. Don't go fast. You might feel the edge of the paper. If you go off the paper, just come back on. Go back and forth. Maybe your hand feels like water flowing over rocks or something. So let your hand be a friend to the paper, and then stop. Okay. All right. I might take some of these drawings that I make and color them in later. I rather like them. Remember, we call that abstract. It doesn't look like anything you've ever seen before. It's something new. Okay. Now, I want you to make a drawing for me, and I'm not going to help you. And I'm only going to give you 6 minutes for this. Teachers, get ready to stop the video for 6 minutes. I want you to draw the best Halloween pumpkin, or the best pumpkin that you can draw. If it's a Halloween pumpkin, it's got to have a face, okay? And if it's a nature pumpkin, just one that you see growing naturally in a field, show that. Maybe you can show the vine also, and try to draw the leaves if you have time. But make it as real looking as you can, okay? So it's time for you to start drawing the best pumpkin that you can draw, and I'll wait for you, and then we'll continue with our lesson. Okay. You've drawn your pumpkin, and now I want you just to watch. I pretty much know what you drew. And probably you drew something like this. You made a stem, and then you made an oval or a circle, and then you made some stripes. There we go. Maybe you showed the ground. And that could be a nature pumpkin. If you made a Halloween pumpkin, you put a face on it, didn't you? There. That's actually a very nice drawing. I like that drawing. I like really simple things. It's big. It fills up the paper, but it's not squashed against the edges. The lines are strong. It's fun to look at. Okay, now that's good, but we can make a pumpkin look dimensional. Look at this drawing. I'm going to show you how to draw a pumpkin like that. You will have to do some thinking. You will have to be a little bit careful. when we draw a pumpkin like I just showed you on that special drawing, we're drawing form. F-O-R-M. And form means it looks like it's round all the way around. Now please don't draw, I just want you to watch. I want you to get this idea. I'm going to draw the stem, and I'll explain the stem to you later. But right now, I'm just going to draw that little cloud shape. See, here's where the farmer cut the pumpkin off of the pumpkin vine. Now, what we see when we see a real pumpkin from nature is we see that it has ribs. Now you and I have ribs, but those are bones. But even so, the ribs wrap around our chest. They go around. That's why we call the sections that we see on a pumpkin ribs. So the section nearest us will look something like this. Now the one next to it will look something like this. The one next to that. Now, do you see what I see? What do we see here? My finger's giving you a hint. The ribs get narrower, don't they? They're still going from the top center to the bottom and pointing towards the center underneath. But they're getting narrower, aren't they? See? That's important. So if this one is this wide, the next one is going to be narrower here. The next one will be narrower than that. There we go. I don't have room for any more. That's okay. And I'm putting the line back there. This makes it look like the pumpkin is sitting on the ground, which is, of course, is where they grow, isn't it? So this is the idea of how we're going to draw our pumpkin. And that'll be a good beginning for a pumpkin patch drawing or a Halloween pumpkin drawing. So I'm going to change out my board now. While I get my new paper ready, I want to mention that all around the world right now, farmers are out in their fields and they're collecting corn and they're collecting wheat, they're collecting rice, they're collecting squashes, and a pumpkin is a squash. And the time of collecting food they've grown, that's called harvest. Harvest. So when we have these holidays in the fall, many of them are to celebrate the harvest. Bringing in of food so that we can live. Okay, so I want you to draw with me now. And when we draw the stem, just copy what I do. Right up here, we're going to make a little jiggly cloud shape. Now we're going to make two lines coming down from that, and we're going to make them curve. I'm going to curve it this way, and this one's going to curve the same way. Now we want to connect those with a curve. So here's our stem, and actually if you see a stem like that on a pumpkin, you see little holes here. We'll put some little dots there. That's where the pumpkin plant brings water to the vegetable that it's making. And there are ridges on this. They're really nice, tough stems. If you get one long enough, you can pick it up and carry it around like a basket. Okay, now we're going to make the contour of the pumpkin. The contour is the shape of it. But when we say contour, that tells us that we're making a three-dimensional object. So I'm going to take my pointer finger and I'm just going to get used to where I want to go with my pencil. You should do this too. Even though I'm not a beginner artist, this helps me think about where do I want to put that on the paper. See, if you just start without doing that, you might do this. And you'll have a very droopy looking pumpkin. It won't look like a pumpkin. You want to get used to the idea of going out and around, making that pumpkin nice and big on the paper, but not too big. You don't want to do this. That's another mistake. That's a mistake in the opposite way. Okay, I'm ready. Here we go. Can you hear my chalk? Okay, now we're going to put on the ribs. Remember, the rib that faces us, the rib nearest to us, is going to be the widest rib. There's going to be a line here and a line here. Do not let them come together at a point down here. They're going to come down and disappear at the edge. And come down and disappear at the edge. So here I go with my first side of the rib facing me, and here's the other one. And then we learned from this drawing that we want to make these less wide. This is the widest one, this is the second widest, this is less, and then this is less. If you get this less wide as we go back, you'll start to make it look dimensional. There we go. Sometimes kids put on too many lines. You kind of enjoy doing that motion, but you put on too many of them, and then it won't look like a vegetable, it'll look like something else. Okay, now, if you are making a pumpkin patch drawing, you're not making a Halloween drawing, what you do is you're going to put another pumpkin back here, but you're going to put it a little bit behind this. We're going to see a part of it. And this is how you do that. You make the stem. And then you make the shape like this. Now the pumpkin shape is going to go behind here. You see that? And then you do that. And then you start putting on these ribs. And try to think of all these ideas of making these less wide as you go towards the edge. So this would be a drawing for harvest. Celebrating food that we're growing. And then we'll put one more over here. I'm going to make this one a little one. Little baby. Okay. Now, if you are making a pumpkin drawing that is not for Halloween, it's just for celebrating what farmers give us, go ahead and do this. And you can put in more pumpkins if you want, and you can put in a pumpkin vine. Let me show you how to do a vine. If you're doing a Halloween pumpkin, you have to wait, kids. Don't do anything. I love looking at vines of plants. See, there goes a vine. That's how the pumpkin grows on the end of the vine. And you make a stem come off the vine, and then there's this sort of furry heart, almost like a heart shape that comes off. They're very soft, they're very green. Now this leaf shape is going to go behind. Don't put on too many. Putting in too much stuff is pretty much generally a mistake. You don't need a whole lot. Oh, this is going to be fun. Look at this. That pumpkin leaf is growing over the pumpkin here. Here comes one more leaf, and this leaf is going to be behind this big pumpkin. See that? I don't like this down here. I'm going to make my ground line higher. Erase this. This is okay over here, but not here. And I think I'll put a leaf on the ground here. With its stem, it fell off. Wow, isn't that fun? I love that. Now, if you're making this Nature Harvest pumpkin patch picture, go ahead and work on your patch picture, okay? Later on you might want to color it in, but I want to encourage you to color very, very carefully and slowly so that it looks really, really nice. Now, for kids making a Halloween pumpkin, I'll show you what to do with this one. Now we need to put some eyes on here, and a nose and a mouth. And we'll just start with some triangles. I'm going to make the triangle a little bit tippy. See how it's tipping? Now if you have this, what do you have to do? You got to erase that, right? I call that a see-through line. And here comes the nose. Then here's the mouth. Now I'm going to make the bottom of the mouth first. I did that on purpose because I always like to give my pumpkin one tooth hanging down right there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this come across here, and then I make the tooth coming down and going across and going up, and then I make the other side of the mouth. I got to make this come up more. Oh yeah, that's a happy pumpkin. And then we get rid of these. Now that might be enough. That might be good enough. You might want to stop there. But I will show you how to get a special effect in here. Because when you put when you take all the insides out of a pumpkin and you cut a face into it, you see that the pumpkin, it's very thick, isn't it? It's very thick. It can be that thick before you get to the empty inside. So we can show the thickness of it. And the way we do that is this. I'm going to repeat this corner inside. Now that's not quite enough. I have to go from this point over to that point. What a dramatic effect, huh? Boy, there is a teeny tiny little magic line right there. Now I'm going to do the same over here. But this time I have to draw it on the opposite side of the triangle. So right now this looks like flat. It looks like it's on the outside, doesn't it? Now I'm going to go from that point to that point with a straight line. Isn't that fun? Now here we're just going to do this. And we'll repeat the same idea down here. Okay, there we are. Now, one idea you might want to do if you're making this kind of a drawing is you might want to turn this into a fence. Maybe your pumpkin is sitting on a fence. I'm going to make a line here under the pumpkin. And I'm going to make some lines that make it look like a fence. Now watch this. Look how those are slanting. See that? And then, this is the ta-da part. Ta-da! Straight down. Oh, wow. Now, our drawing is finished, and we've learned how to make this look like it's thick on the inside. And we'll be using that effect in future drawings, future cartoon drawings. And look at this. Here's thickness too. You see that? This line is very much like what we have here, isn't it? It's just this is on the outside of our wall or our fence, and this is on the inside of the wall or the fence, but it's the same basic idea. This is the same as that. And so what we say is that the rules of drawing are the same for all forms. See, if I'm drawing a house and I want to draw a nice window in the house, I'm going to use this idea. How about that? If I'm drawing a chimney on the house, I'm going to use that idea. This idea can be used in many, many ways. Okay, well, have fun with this, kids. That is the end of lesson number 6. And I will see you next time for lesson number 7. Okay, bye for now.